Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Kurt Fisnick, and I apologize for jumping up and doing this recording without having you know, I'm just wearing my hat and my t-shirt, and that's one of the advantages of working from home. But hey, yesterday I made a recording, and I was talking about using resveratrol, and I came to realize last night, right before I went to bed, about 11 o'clock last night, so 12 hours after I made the recording, that my slides really didn't show up. So I wanted to remake that recording this morning and share with you a couple of things. So first thing that I want to do is I want to bring up, let's see, where am I at? Where am I at here? Okay. So we want to talk about some things that we can do to help prevent coming down with this sickness and getting really sick. So one of the things that they've shown is that the vaccine contains a high amount of or trace amounts of this graphene, and graphene can cause some issues in your body, and it'll cause problems with the glutathione levels. So your body makes glutathione, and here's the precursor, and here's what it says: N-acetylcysteine, a potential therapeutic agent for SARS-CoV-2. This was dated October 2020, so just, not that long ago. And it goes through and it says that COVID-19, a respiratory illness caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, continues to spread across the globe, predisposing factors to age, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and lowered immune function, increase the risk of disease severity, T cell exhaustion, high viral load, and high levels of the necrotic factor associated with severe disease. Cytokine and antigen overstimulation, poor humoral response to the virus. In other words, they're saying that your immune system doesn't fight it very well. So N-acetylcysteine replenishes the glutathione stores and increases the proliferative response of the T cell. It's also been associated to inhibit the inflammasome pathways and decrease the plasma tissue necrotic factor in human clinical studies. So they're basically saying to decrease the effects of viral-induced oxidative stress and cell death, and can act as a potential therapeutic agent in the treatment of the COVID-19 through a variety of mechanisms, including the glutathione, the T cell response, and modulating the immune system. So N-acetylcysteine, that's a good one. So here's another one that I talked about a few weeks ago. It's quercetin, and this comes from the Journal of Inflammation. This was January of this year, January 28, 2021. And it says SARS-2 beta coronavirus causes severe inflammatory pneumonia, so excessive inflammation is considered a risk factor for the disease. According to reports, cytokine storm is strongly responsible for death in such patients, such the consequence of severe inflammation, cytokine increase, acute respiratory distress syndrome, acute lung injury, and multiple organ dysfunctions. So they're saying that quercetin is a carbohydrate-free flavonoid that is most abundant flavonoid in vegetables and fruits, and been studied to determine the biological effects of flavonoids. Inflammasomes, cytosolic multi-protein complexes assembling in response to cytosolic PMAP, DMAPs, whose function is to generate active forms of cytokines, interleukin 1B and interleukin 18, activation, inhibition of the NLRP3 inflammasomes factored by regulators such as the TXNP, SIRT1, and NRF2. Quercetin suppresses the inflammasome by affecting these regulators. Quercetin is an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, analgesic, and inflammatory compound product. A potential treatment for severe inflammation, one of the life-threatening conditions in patients with COVID-19. There you go. Quercetin. So let's look here. Targeting, this is a Journal of Biomolecular Structure Dynamics, July of last year, July of 2020. So they're studying the natural occurring phytochemicals. This is all in PubMed, people. I mean, I looked this up on PubMed this morning. So the spike glycoprotein, a class 1 fusion protein harboring the surface of the SARS-CoV-2, plays a seminal role in the viral infection, starting with recognition of the host cell surface receptor attachment to the fusion of the viral envelope of the host cell. So they're saying that it works through the ACE2 receptors that attach it to your cell and it causes problems. So here they looked at a number of different things to see if there's any natural or occurring phytochemicals, flavonoids, non-flavonoids, to help with this. And so it's been looked at. It's been looked at. All right. No. Here's another one. Quercetin and coronavirus disease 2019. So this was dated March 2021. So again, a couple months ago, phytotherapeutic so several months ago, an outbreak of pneumonia of unknown etiology was detected in Wuhan City, and etiological agent atypical pneumonia was isolated by the Chinese authorities, the COVID virus. The World Health Organization announced that this new disease was known as COVID-19 with looking at new antiviral compounds. Knowledge of the main viral proteins is fundamental. The major druggable targets of SARS-CoV-2 include 3 chymotrypsin-like protease, papain-like proteases, RNA-dependent RNA polymerases, spike protein. Quercetin inhibits. It's not theoretical, but significant capability to interfere with the COVID-2 replication, with results of showing its 5th best compound of 18 candidates. So they've looked at 18 different compounds, and they say this is the 5th best, quercetin. Okay, let's look at some other things. So in talking to some of my Native American friends, they said that they're collecting white pine needles, eastern white pine needles, as a source of, well, they didn't know what they were collecting them for, but it's actually a source of something called suramin. It's a potential antidote in the current spike protein contagion resulting from the chimeric SARS-2 coronavirus and potential pathogenic transmission of spike protein from the experimental mRNA vaccines. So it's obtained from a tea from the eastern white pine needles. And it goes on to explain it, but it also contains shikimic acid, which is the same molecule found in the star anise herb used historically in traditional Chinese medicine to treat plagues and respiratory illnesses. So this eastern pine needle, so, you know, this is from Bioregulatory Medicine Institute. So you should learn how to make pine needle tea, so that I've heard that it's something that you can actually have problems with as well. So you wanna know what you're doing. It's going to give you a source of shikimic acid as well as this suramin. So this is from Cold Spring Harbor Laboratories BioRx4, and it says Prunella vulgaris extract and suramin block the SARS coronavirus 2 virus spike protein, the variance mediated receptor association virus entry into the cell structure. Okay. So until now, no approved effective vaccine and antiviral therapeutic are available for treatment and prevention of COVID-2 virus infection. In this study, they look at this suramin, a compound that came from the white pine needle tea. This is dated August 28, 2020. Another study. This is this goes back to 2005. So this is before COVID-19. Suramin disrupts receptor G protein by coupling and blocking association of G protein alpha, beta, gamma subunits. So basically, they're saying it blocks these proteins and the binding of these proteins. This is from the Journal of Pharmacological Therapeutics, actually published December 30th, 2004. Here's another one. An antidote. So this is from Principia Scientific International, an antidote to the COVID vaccine contagion. So this is May 17th, 2021. And they're saying that the antidote, right? And they're going the spike protein contagion. So when they give you this vaccine, they're giving you some of the spike protein. It causes massive headaches, muscle clots, bruising. I've noticed that in several of the people that I know that had the vaccination. Heavy menstrual cycles, miscarriages, reduction of breast milk, sterility among men and women, and household pets dying shortly after owners stopped the serum. Hey, I don't know. And so the antidote to this contagion has been known by the upper levels of medical establishment, insiders, elitist class for almost 100 years. It's called Suramin. It's originally derived from an extract of pine needle oil, right? Okay. I'm not going to talk about this too much. I'm just going to go on. This is from Wikipedia. Suramin is a medication used to treat African sleep and sickness, river blindness, treatment choice for sleep and sickness from central nervous system and involvement. It has a fair number of side effects: vomiting, diarrhea, headache, tingling, numbness, weakness. So you want to know what you're doing when you're making this pine needle tea. Then we talk about fulvic acid. So this is fulvic acid science. It's shown to neutralize viruses in 2008 research. I mean, this is going back, folks. This is going back 12 years. Ultrafiltered fulvic acid, as well as pomegranate juice, have a demonstrated activity in encapsulated viruses, neutralizing their ability to infect other cells, but interfering with their encapsulating later. So it makes it so they can't replicate. Fulvic acid's purified form is known as well as certain compounds contained in pomegranate juice, might have an effective prevention of encapsulated virus such as the SARS, H1N1, perhaps COVID-19, as it is also an encapsulated virus. Could fulvic acid possibly have an effect of COVID-19? So it goes on to talk about this infection. There's what the virus kind of looks like. You see those little spikes. That's why it's called a coronavirus, because it has kind of that crown on it, and so that crown attaches to your cells, and it injects your cell with itself. So this is from British Medical Journal Oral Health. This is September 24th, 2013, investigating the biologic properties of a carbohydrate drug, fulvic acid, as a potential novel therapy managing oral biofilm infection. So these viruses and cells produce this biofilm. We've heard a lot more about biofilm when we're talking about the Lyme disease. But recently, I've seen in the news that there's a lot of studies and there's a lot of people coming up with these rare, they call them rare, but fungal infections. Here it says, this can help with kidney hands and so again, fulvic acid. Here's another study, the Journal of Diabetes, published September 2018. Therapeutic potential of fulvic acid in chronic inflammatory diseases and diabetes. So, isn't that the main problem with this virus? Is it causes inflammation? So, wouldn't we want to try and control that? So, I'm going to bring that down. So what I want to do next is I would like to looking. Okay. Okay. So this is what I brought up yesterday, and I talked about almost a day ago, 24 hours ago. I was talking primarily about resveratrol. So this is from September 2018. It says resveratrol, double-edged sword in health benefits. So here's what it talks about. It says that it has anti-cancer effects. Numerous studies have demonstrated that resveratrol possesses anti-tumor action, is likely a candidate for treatment prevention of several types of cancer. The anti-cancer properties of resveratrol have been confirmed by many in vitro and in vivo studies, which shows that the resveratrol is able to inhibit all carcinogenesis stages: initiation, promotion, and progression. All stages. Many studies have provided evidence that the resveratrol not acts as a chemopreventative agent, but also displays chemotherapeutic properties linked to anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, pro-apoptosis, and anti-proliferative actions. And, so resveratrol comes from the red grapeseed. It has cardioprotective effects. Resveratrol protective effect is shown to inhibit cardiovascular function in diabetic rats by preserving the functional abilities of the cardiac stem progenitor cell compartments, stem cells, and mature cardiac cells, improve cardiac environment, reducing inflammatory state, and decrease unfavorable ventricular remodeling of the diabetic heart, leading to a marked recovery of ventricular function. Resveratrol showed beneficial effect in heart failure by improving left ventricle function, decreased cardiac hypertrophy, contractile dysfunction, remodel interstitial fibrosis, and the level of plasma BNP. And the inhibition of the pro-hypertrophic signaling molecules, improvement of the myocardial calcium function, phosphorylation, pro-survival, and stress signaling. Folks, it says that it'll help you if you have cardiovascular problems. Resveratrol has several neuroprotective roles in various neurodegenerative impairments such as Alzheimer's, Huntington's, Parkinson's, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and alcohol-induced neurodegenerative diseases. It also shown to have protective effects not limited to the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant activity, but improved mitochondrial function biogenesis through the SIRT1 genes, which prevents deleterious effects triggered by oxidative stress. It decreases cholinergic neurotransmission, brain-derived neurotrophic factor expression, oxidative stress, and promotes the beta amyloid peptides clearance. So it clears out these amyloids that we hear about with Alzheimer's. Right? Folks, if you're worried about this, and we should be, because they're saying that in the next 30 to 40 years, by the year 2050, that we're going to have a significant number of our population to have neurodegenerative diseases. Stilbenoids, including resveratrol, are non-nitrogenous polyphenols with acidic and amphiphilic characters, anti-inflammatory activity. Maybe many of their targets are occurring on cyclooxygenase, the COX-1, L5 LOX, and the COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitors. So we've heard of medications that came out about 20 years ago that were COX-2 inhibitors, and they turned out that they caused problems with the cardiovascular system, and they've since been pretty much taken off the market. So here we have a natural product that actually is cardioprotective, but it works with the same system. Folks, this is for all of us. It has antimicrobial activity. Resveratrol, in addition to the above described biological activities, that's been studied for ability to inhibit the growth of some pathogenic microorganisms such as the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria and funguses. Again, we're having a lot of problems this last year with people's coming down with some of these rare fungal type of infections, and including Candida albicans. So resveratrol seems to help. I'm not going to say cure or treat, I can't say that, but I'm just reading you a study that was in a peer-reviewed magazine. Besides this, it says that the antioxidant, anti-cancer, neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, anti-dyslipidemia, anti-diabetic effects. It also exhibits anti-proliferative androgen-lowering effects on the theca interstitial cells of the ovary. So it helps with female-type problems. So the negative effects. So are there some negative effects with this? Yes. You know, and that's true with, I would say, probably every natural substance. If you take too much, it's going to have problems. How much is too much? Well, they're saying doses of 2.5 grams a day or more. Side effects may occur, which include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, liver dysfunction, patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. 2.5 grams per day. That's a lot. That would be well, a teaspoonful or more. So they're saying that, interestingly, no major side effects were stated in long-term clinical trials. In fact, resveratrol has been found to be safe and well tolerated up to 5. I'm reading it right here, middle of the page, up to 5 grams per day, either as a single dose or as a fraction of multiple day dosing schedule. So 5 grams per day, that's a lot, right? In my most severe patient, the patient that I worked with that had the pretty rare form of lymphoma, when I was using resveratrol to help with him, I was using what I considered to be a fairly high dose, and we were using 1.8 grams, so almost 2 grams per day. That was what I used with him. And they're saying otherwise at doses of 2.5 grams or more per day, side effects may occur. And then they go on saying studies 5 grams per day. Folks, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just telling you. So there, another part of this study, they talk about that, you know, almost 2 grams almost 2 milligrams per kilogram. I mean, and a kilogram is 2.5 pounds. So we're talking a lot, right? So what does it do with what we're talking about today? Resveratrol inhibits the SARS coronavirus replication. This is February of this year in the Journal of Viruses. This is coming from PubMed. This is coming from my government website. So this isn't stuff that I'm just making up. I'm not pulling this out of my butt. Here's what it says in this particular article. It says resveratrol, it's highlighted in the blue there. Resveratrol demonstrated the optimal antiviral response with low cytotoxicity. So optimal antiviral response, and it's not dangerous for you. Okay. Here's another one. This is coming from the Journal of Biomedical Pharmacotherapy, July of 2020. It just came out this month. This is new this month. Resveratrol zinc nanoparticles and pterostilbene, which is from blueberry, with zinc. Potential COVID-19 mono and adjunctive therapy. So they're saying by itself, these extracts from blueberries and grapeseed combined with zinc, by itself or along with other things. So here's what it says in the article. We recommend prompt clinical trials to evaluate resveratrol, pterostilbene, zinc combinations that described to be tested as a monotherapy by itself, mild COVID-19 with the potential to prevent progression to moderate severe disease, by which we suggest testing a combination of adjuvant therapy. So along with other things, you know, maybe some drugs if that's what they want to do. Finally, we suggest that seeking a holy grail to combat COVID-19 through the inexpensive and readily available therapeutics and nutraceuticals should always be prioritized. And we suggest that the described combinations with their known pharmacologic, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulated properties possess pharmacotherapeutic potential that might exceed COVID-19 to various other medical disciplines and diseases. Folks, they're saying the same thing that I'm saying. that we need to take a look at these natural things. We need to take a look at how they affect this thing. Okay, let's look at another one. This comes from Cold Spring Harbor Laboratory. Resveratrol and pterostilbene, so grapeseed extract and blueberry extracts potentially inhibit the SARS replication in vitro. Here's what it says. The current COVID-19 pandemic is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome. Coronavirus has enormous impact on human health and the economy. In search for therapeutic options, research have proposed resveratrol, a food supplement with known antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant properties, has an advantageous antiviral therapy for COVID-2 infection. And here we provide evidence that both resveratrol and its metabolically more stable structural analog pterostilbene exhibits potential antiviral properties against the virus. Another one. This comes from a virology peer-reviewed magazine, and this was dated 2020. I don't see an exact date there. So last year, and here's what it says in this one. It says antiviral efficacy of resveratrol was demonstrated for several viruses, including coronavirus. Resveratrol is shown to mitigate the major pathways involved in the pathogenesis of the SARS-CoV-2, including regulation of the renin-angiotensin system and expression of the angiotensin converting enzyme, stimulation of the immune system, and downregulation of pro-inflammatory cytokine release. It also reported to promote the SIRT1 and P53 signaling pathways and increase cytotoxic T lymphocytes and natural kill immune cells. In addition, resveratrol to be a demonstrated or stimulated of fetal hemoglobin potential antioxidant trapping reactive oxygen species. Resveratrol could be proposed as potential therapeutics in the treatment of the COVID-19. I don't know what more you want. Here's another one. This comes from the Review of Molecules, February 21. So therapeutic potential of resveratrol in the COVID-19 associated hemostatic disorders. Here's what they say. Utilize anti-inflammatory, anti-thrombotic properties of natural compounds may provide alternative therapeutic approaches to prevent and reduce the risk factors associated with pre-existing conditions and comorbidities which can worsen COVID-19 patient outcome. In regards to resveratrol, a natural compound found in plants and fruits such as grapes, blueberries, and cranberries may represent a promising coadjunctive for the treatment, so it may be a treatment for the prevention and treatment of COVID-19. By virtue of its anti-thrombotic and anti-inflammatory properties, resveratrol is expected to lower the COVID-19 associated mortality, which is well known to be increased by thrombosis and inflammation. You know, I've given you some evidence based on peer-reviewed journals that there's natural things out there. And so I'm not going to say that you have to grab the same things that I'm grabbing, but you want to make sure that you're taking a product that's actually going to work. Resveratrol, I'll tell you, there's various forms of resveratrol, and some of the forms of resveratrol aren't very stable, like it said here. We use a combination in the product that I use that uses resveratrol, and it uses combined with pterostilbene, like it said in those articles. And it's in a very stable form. I mean, we actually have to provide evidence to the FDA that our product will be stable. It'll be therapeutically effective for 2 years if the bottle's unopened. 2 years. We have to provide that evidence. Beyond that, it might start to decrease in the therapeutic benefit. But I'm going to tell you that if it's stable for 2 years up to the therapeutic benefit, that it's still going to be stable after that. But if you've got it and it comes in a 30-day supply, use it. Don't let it sit there for 2 years. But I take this every single day. I have my parents taking it. To take this product. It's called Eternity. Get a hold of me, docfiz@me.com, docfizz.me.com, or get a hold of the people that provided you with this video, and let's get you taking this. Another product that I like, it's a product that comes from the same company. It has the shikimic acid, it has that pine needle extract. It's got some of the other things that we use that are, like elderberry that helps control the cytotoxic storm, and that is called influence. Again, get a hold of me. DocFizme.com, DocFizme.com. I'll get you some information on that. Great product. I take it every single day. It's sent to help control the spike protein. I just gave you the research on it. Our product is not tested. We haven't been evaluated by the FDA. I have to throw this disclaimer out there because I'm giving you evidence of ingredients, and now I'm giving you evidence of products. Get a hold of the person that shared this with you. We have another product that's called Stemolytics. It's got the N-acetylcysteine. It's got the quercetin in it, and again, it has been evaluated by FDA. I'm not going to try and tell you that it has. And we can't make evidence. We can't tell you that, oh, this is curative or anything. All we can say is that based on the evidence that I've provided with this video today, is that we can help support your body's own immune system. You've seen it. I didn't make this stuff up. It's in peer-reviewed articles right there. Contact me, contact the person that shared this video with you, and let's do what we can to help provide things to support your own system, your own body, and that in my mind is the most important thing. Have a good day.